So I would say this never gets old, but it's getting really, really old. And I have to say the only two self-identifying Gnostics who actually were Gnostics that I have had respect for and still have respect for, even when I was in bitter dispute with them, even personally, I had immense respect for them, and that's Life, Liberty, Love, and James at Pandora's Box, because they actually read the early works and they took Gnosticism for what it was, an outgrowth of Pauline, an exclusionary Pauline Christianity. Gnosticism is an umbrella term that identifies a group of sects that existed from the second century, second and third centuries. That's pretty much where they existed. They were docetic. They believed the physical world was evil, the spiritual world was pure good, physical world was evil. The demiurge created the physical world. He was either an ignorant or an evil god. And what is the worst thing in the world? Sex, because it's carnal pleasure, and it produces childbirth. And childbirth is entombing a soul, a pre-existent soul, in this horrid, wretched physical body that is pain and suffering and all that kind of stuff. They were celibate men and they were elitists. Gnosticism is not a Dan Brown book. Dan Brown actually is the opposite of Gnosticism in Da Vinci Code. The Gnostics didn't view Christ as human. He was only God. The funny thing is the ones that viewed Christ the most human, those Gospels are the four Gospels in the New Testament, and possibly in the Ebionite Gospel, possibly, which is most likely Matthew, the Matthew that we have, or a version of it. But yeah, the Gnostics weren't hippie flower children. They were monastic, elitist men that believed only few could get into ascend the monad or the pleroma. The physical world was disgusting to them, and sexual desire was the disgusting, crude, basest thing. This is why the early church was very, very, very suspect of monasticism. That's why it took somebody like guy who actually gets the title Great, Anthony, to actually establish when the church said okay, because dudes running off into the desert with no women around, doing a bunch of ascetic stuff. I mean, the Gnostics were hardcore ascetics. You had a flip side to it also as well, just like the Puritans and the Ranters. You did have people who said, well, we can't sin in the physical, so we can rape and murder and kill. That might be slander from the church fathers, though. I mean, that was probably, I mean, how do you slander your enemies in the church? You call them heathens, pagans, Jews, and you accuse them of every sin and crime known to man. All right, peace to you.